everybody, welcome to Cooking with Michal. I'm so excited. Today I'm going to make one of my favorite Haitian soups called soup Joumou. It's a really rich, pumpkin, delicious stew. It's really great for the winter time or any time of the year. I'm making it now because I'm trying to work on my health. I'm trying to work on my gut health because summer's right around the corner and I'm trying to be snatched, okay? So let's get started. Guys, stop what you're doing and like this video, comment on the video, and subscribe. I know some of you guys are watching faithfully every week because you tell me on the side, but please comment, please subscribe. If you haven't already, please like the video, interact with me. Love you. All right, guys, so this part of the meal is gonna be really simple. I'm going to use an Instant Pot, crock pot, whatever you wanna call it, for this part of the meal. Typically, you could boil this meat on the stove, but just for time equity, I'm just gonna throw it in the Instant Pot so I can forget about it. I'm gonna add some aromatics. So this is 2 green onions. I'm gonna add in some thyme. I'm gonna add thyme. I'm just gonna add some. That looks like it's enough. And then I go add 3 more. I'm gonna add in some onions just to the base of it. This is 1 whole onion, by the way. Finally, I'll add in my beef. So I use 2 different types of beef here. I'm using the chuck beef, so they're boneless in little pieces. And I'm also using bone-in beef just because I wanted to. Some people use pork, some people use cow's feet, chicken feet. You can basically use any type of meat that you want in a meal like this, but I prefer to stick with beef. I don't really eat pork that much. So I already seasoned this meat. I have a few videos on my page of how I season meat. I put my épices in here, some onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, salt and pepper, and some cayenne pepper. And I'm just going to add this into the pressure cooker. I'm scared. I don't want it to splatter on me. Jesus. Ah! Ah. We made it. So as you can see, it kind of fills the pot. It's about 3/4 of the way into the pot. Added some water to the bowl that had the seasoning in it, and now I'm just gonna pour it in. Like I've said in prior videos, you always wanna make sure that the broth that you're boiling your meat in also has a little bit of flavor. I seasoned the meat very well, and I seasoned it yesterday. So it's seasoned for at least 24 hours. But in addition, I also added some aromatics, and now I'm just gonna add a little bit more seasoning. So I'm just gonna use clove powder. I'm just adding things that will give the meat and the water that it's boiling in some depth of flavor. So by the time I blend it and add it to my soup, it's gonna make it taste very rich and delicious. I was never an Instant Pot fan because I used to think it was like a cop-out to use things like this, but my sister Heidi put me on, and now I'm a big fan because it really does save a lot of time, and it's a one and done thing. I chose to roast it instead of boiling it because I was thinking about the people who originally came up with the recipe, and I realized that most likely they weren't cooking with a gas or electric stove like we do now. So instead of boiling it in water like I normally would, I wanted to roast it so it could get more of that, like, you know, deep, rich flavor that a charcoal stove would normally give you. So it's pretty soft. I'm just gonna add it to my blender. It even smells amazing. Like, it smells amazing. As you can see, it's coming right off, like it's so smooth. So typically a meal like this could literally take you all day, but because I put the squash in the oven, I didn't have to worry about, you know, checking it on the stove. And because I put the meat in the pressure cooker, I didn't have to worry about the meat either. So a meal like this, which could be classified as high maintenance, became a very low maintenance meal. It's perfect for the winter, it's perfect for your health, it's perfect for if you're feeling ill. This is just, I have simplified a difficult recipe. So remember remember how I said earlier, part of the reason why I was making this soup was for my health. So I realized the best way to sneak in vegetables in your meal is through soups. So typically you would just blend this with the squash itself, but I also roasted about 2 carrots with the squash, and I'm gonna add it to my blender, and I'm gonna blend that in so I can get some extra veggies in. This is about a 10-quart pot. I'm anticipating this blend to make about 8 quarts of soup, which will probably last us about 2 weeks, aka it's equivalent to, I think, about like 20 servings or so. I'm gonna start the base of the soup using the green ippies. I use 2 spoonfuls, 1 whole onion. I'm using 1 green onion and some thyme. And I'm just gonna let this all sweat together for about 5 minutes before I add in the squash. My onions are sweated out. Now I'm gonna add some root vegetables. Typically, for a recipe like this, I would typically add like potatoes, plantain, that's the most common. But again, because I'm trying to be intentionally healthy, I decided to pick up some other root vegetables. So I'm also adding parsnips this time, and this big circle thingy. It was purple before I peeled it. I forgot the name of it, but it smells like a cabbage. Let's see what it tastes like. It tastes like anything. Whatever, but yeah, I'm gonna use that. So keep in mind that my squash is already made. My meat is already made. So instead of boiling the potatoes separately, I'm going to boil them with the squash. It's best to cut your vegetables the same size because that way they will all cook at the same rate. But if one is extremely bigger than the other, then one might cook faster than the other, which will mess up your cooking time. This will be my first time trying parsnips. I'm really excited about it. It smells very nutty. I know people usually make parsnip puree with this, or they'll make mashed potatoes with parsnips, so I'm really excited to try it. So I have all my starches in. The last thing I'm gonna add is 2 celery sticks that were already diced, and then 1 carrot. This is just for the flavor. When the soup is almost finished cooking, I'll add in more carrots and celery so you can get the textural component, but this is just for the flavor. Now I'm gonna add in the blended squash and carrots. You can see how thick it is. Obviously the soup is not gonna be that thick, so I'm gonna thin it out with water. So I added water to the blender to get the rest of the squash that was on the blender out. And I'm just gonna add this sauce. Right now is obviously definitely loose. It's not that loose, but it's definitely going to thicken as these starches release. And I keep in mind, I did not add the meat yet. Found this pasta on Instacart the other day. It's a high fiber penne pasta, good wheat, gluten-free. So I decided to try it. Normally, I'll add in like some type of macaroni and also some type of spaghetti into this. Obviously, I'm not gonna add in too much, but I was curious and I wanna try it. So I'm gonna add in about like 1/4 of a box. That's enough. Less than a handful of spaghetti. Like, just, it's not even that much. It's just nice to have. Normally, I would boil my pasta separately, but I'm boiling it in the soup for 2 reasons. One, the sauce is already loose, so as it boils and the starch is released from the pasta and potatoes, it will naturally make the soup thicker. And also, this is low maintenance this way, and I'm team low maintenance right now. So I just added some seasonings to the pot. Let me just make sure it tastes good. It needs more salt. So just like that, the meal is literally done. Remember the hypothesis I gave you guys about my soup thickening? It worked, period. So it's thick, it's beautiful. It already tastes so good. Like, the beef is so tender. It's literally falling off the bone. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm going to pick up a bone for you, slow motion, so you can see. This is the bone. This is the meat that was on the bone. Now look. Like, it's literally, I don't even know what to do. Is it just me, or do you like to chew bones? I just like sucking like the juice out of it. And I like to chew them, but I don't swallow them. But I know some people do, but I don't. Yeah, I've just been trying to be a lot more health conscious than I have in my past. I'm getting older now. I'm 27 years old right now, and I just noticed little body changes. For example, I used to eat and just go to sleep and be fine, but now I can't do that anymore, because if I go to sleep right after eating, I'm gonna wake up feeling bloated, which I hate. So it's like little things like that that's making me realize, like, I can't just do anything anyhow like I used to. I have to be intentional with, when I'm eating, what I'm eating, how I'm eating. So I've just been resetting my body, resetting my life actually. So this is just part of my process right now. I will also add this. Obviously, I'm not a mother yet, but as a future mom, I think it's really important for you to be cognizant about different types of foods and what they do. Like, you need to know that spinach is high in fiber. You need to know that citrus is good, especially when you're feeling ill, because stuff like that will help you with your kids. It'll help you feed your kids, feed your man. I know we live in a very modern society, but I personally believe that women should take care of the home. I personally feel like it's my responsibility to make sure the food is cooked and the house is clean. I'm not saying that my partner can't help me or that he can't cook sometimes or clean sometimes, but I feel like it's primarily my responsibility as a woman to get those things done. So my meat is all in the pot now. I'm just gonna gently fold it all together so it can all mix. Anyways, I'm not gonna do a full bowl today because it's late, and I don't wanna waste it because it actually tastes really good. But I'm just gonna take one scoop. Don't worry, I'm not double dipping. It's actually really good. I'm glad that I roasted it because it was worth it to me. Let's try the soup. I'm just gonna grab another spoon. You know what? I'm actually gonna grab a bowl. 1 second. Okay, I compromised with myself. Instead of getting a bowl, I'm just gonna eat from this bigger spoon. But no, this is really delicious. It's actually really, really good. I really love the roasting idea. I'm definitely gonna roast it from here on out, because I just feel like the flavor is much richer than it usually is. It's sweet, it's spicy. This is really good. Like, it's gonna burn my mouth. No, this is spicy. This is really good. Ow. This is so good. But yeah, guys, I definitely recommend you trying to make this. Definitely, if you're gonna make it, I would say use your Instapot or your crock pot, whatever you call it. Put your meat in there, because I literally put it in there. I hit pressure cook. It cooked for 1 hour and the meat was ready. Put your squash in the oven. It really gave it this great roasty flavor. And then all the potatoes and the vegetables and the pasta literally boiled in under 20 minutes. So this was such a simple thing to make, but it tastes like I made it for like hours. So it's worth the investment. It's definitely healthy. I'm definitely looking forward to sharing this with my sister. Yeah, thanks so much for joining me today, and catch me next week on Cooking with Michal.